Show on time today. How about that? Guess who's doing that? What up, Izzy? Yo, what up, everybody? Guess who's kicking the show off on time today? 9 o'clock is the sweet spot. I'm trying to make sure that I can get here every day at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is absolutely a sweet spot. If I can get to sleep at a decent hour, then we can do that. Then we can be excited. What's up, everybody? It's your host with the most, like butter on your breakfast toast. It is 9 a.m. on Monday, November 7th, one day before the election. It is 68 degrees with a high of 80 degrees. A high of 80 degrees. What's up, y'all? What's up, all my champions in the building? I see you, Sonny. I see you, Enough. What up, Sabrina? What up, Pearl? What up, KM? Make sure when y'all join the room, y'all know what to do. Start hitting that like button. Let's run the likes up. If you're joining me on YouTube, which is where I suggest that you have a backup connection is on YouTube. You should get that cranking. Let me see what we got going on over here. All right, I see a couple people already starting to join on YouTube. I appreciate y'all for showing up. We're gonna get into it in a minute. I got my apple cider vinegar ready. I hope y'all do too. It is Monday. We had an amazing Sunday night if you tuned in. Who all we got? You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all check in. Alley Cat, I see you. Lene, I see you. Sharice, I see you. We had an amazing Monday yesterday for those of you who missed it. You know, I ain't mad at y'all, man. I know sometimes y'all got things to do, especially on the weekend, you know, as y'all prepare for your week. But let me just tell you something. It was litty in the city. We spent a few hours talking about a few things. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty cool. Let me do that. Am I gonna be able to see that? I might be able to. We got Rochelle in the building. I see you. Tanja, I see you. You got your drink ready? My drink is ready. I know the earlier I come on, the more everybody's gonna be prepared to start sipping and tripping. Let me do that. Let me add this right quick. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Woo. There we go. Let me do that. Just doing a little work over here. I have my drink ready. Just finished drinking mine. Pumped Up Pearl. That's what's up. That might have to be your name too. Pumped Up Pearl. Pumped Up Pearl in the building. Hey. What's with the apple cider vinegar? What? What, you don't know? I can't believe you asking me this question. You don't know what's up with the apple cider vinegar drink? Listen, I'll break it down to you like I broke it down last night. Last night I was on live. I got on live and was on for a few hours while I was making my drink. So I made my drink every day for every day this week that I'm going to be live with you guys. I made my drink, and it's 8 ounces of water. It's 2 teaspoons of two teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. It's 1 freshly squeezed lemon, which is about 5 tablespoons, and then honey to taste, which is about 2 teaspoons of honey. Pearl said her boss gonna have a rude awakening. So it's for your digestive tract and gut health or whatnot, and I think you'll appreciate it. As you'll notice and you'll hear throughout the comments, that the group that is developed here is very health conscious and has been watching how this has changed their lives, have added energy, has added digestive control, has had them burn stored fat. When people are like, "Oh, does it help you lose weight?" It helps you get rid of the stored fat by you're putting your body in a fasted state longer than it normally is, and it really really breaks things down. But it has so many health benefits that you absolutely want to be a part of you know, being consistent with it. And it's a lifestyle change. It's not a one-off. It's not something that you just do for the moment. It is a lifestyle change, and so you want to be on it. Yeah, Mr. Spacely. So with today's conversation, right? I see Mr. Spacely on YouTube. He typed retirement question mark and then the word what in question marks, triple question marks. So we've been dealing with this with watching how society and more importantly how certain communities have descended upon Kyrie and Kanye and their conversation about anti-Semitism and black people being Jewish and being descendants of Abraham and whatnot, and it's causing a lot of uproar. If y'all have noticed, if y'all paid attention to the news, they are railroading a lot of our. These are leaders. I don't care how y'all feel about Kanye. I don't feel, how y'all feel about Kyrie, but they're trailblazers. Kanye, we've seen him do it through several different industries or whatnot. But Kyrie, we've seen him stand his ground, and this is another thing. Like, we really got to support these people who step out on faith on our behalf. Some people are like, oh, they're not doing it for me. Absolutely, they are. They're doing it for the community. And if you don't recognize that, then stay tuned and let's get educated together so I can help you understand exactly what they are doing. Before we get started, make sure you guys are hitting the like button like your thumb is going through it, like you're playing a video game. Make sure you're sharing the room. Sharing is caring, y'all. If y'all care about this subject, if y'all care about community, then you share. That's one of the biggest parts about community. If you aren't following me, follow me now. Turn on notifications to always. Again, you can always tune in on YouTube, which is always pretty fly. Anyway, if you came to my YouTube, you can see the different. You can see the whole studio a little bit differently. TikTok shows a whole lot just differently, and you'll see it. You'll be like, oh man, it looks like a real production on YouTube. And I will be moving everything over to YouTube, so I don't even get on Instagram Live like that anymore. And I think I should, though. Let me get on Instagram Live, because I know people on Instagram Live, with the engagement that happened this past weekend. This past weekend, I made some very, 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 very important posts. And you'll see I continue to get a lot of content from, like, my DMs are full, and a lot of people are posting and tagging me in posts regarding this subject, because it's such a real thing, because not many people are having the opportunity to talk about and discuss this matter that we're discussing on a regular basis, because you have to repeat it and you have to educate people on the conversation. People have no idea. I respect Kyrie for his sacrifices. Posting what he posted took guts. Yep. Rejecting the jab took guts. And that's what people don't, that's what I want you to understand, Spacely, is that Kyrie is a leader who doesn't do a lot of talking, but he does a lot of walking. And that's one of the commissions of a leader. You know what I'm saying? Is you got to do more walking than talking. A lot of people are sharing the conversation, but aren't putting their money where their mouth is. And we were watching Kanye and Kyrie. They're putting their money where their mouth is. They're sacrificing their careers. They're sacrificing their livelihood. They're sacrificing the comforts that they worked there. Listen, when we talk about this, I want y'all to understand these guys have spent a majority of their lives chasing this pinnacle that they both have achieved and are risking at the sake of, they're not doing it for themselves completely. I would tell y'all right now, don't do anything and claim that you're doing it for everybody else. There's a huge piece of selfishness that has to go along with it in order for people to respect what you're doing. If you don't admit, like, yeah, I'm doing this for me, but I'm doing this for you too. So what? Now what? I included you in something I ain't even have to include you in. Matter of fact, I ain't even have to do this, but I'm doing this for you and for me. And I ain't even asking nothing for you but to support me. What up, Yakini? I just want you to support me. I just want you to rock with me. The world is going crazy. Kyrie says, yo, I don't feel as a professional athlete, and if you all had tuned into me, y'all would have known my opinion on vax when it came to celebrities. I mean, not celebrities, but athletes. There's no way athletes should have been commissioned to take any of this stuff because of how fine-tuned they keep their bodies in shape. You know what I'm saying? How strong. Like, I don't recall in the news if there is I can't recall in the news if there's one or two or if any athletes passed away from COVID itself. Meaning, I don't think there's an athlete that passed away from COVID that didn't already have a condition. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as a basketball player or whatnot, or a tennis player, none of that. But you've heard about so many of those who have participated that have passed from it. People are having serious heart issues after taking it back. I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Yakini, that there are now more people who have passed as a result of getting the shot than in terms of athletes or whatnot than those that haven't. Kyrie, I'm just typing something right quick, y'all. Kyrie contemplating retirement. Kanye. Okay, so let's go live on Instagram as well. Because I need to include them in the conversation. It's just, and I'm gonna have to navigate them to there we go. Post. Do that. Pin it. All right. Pin it so they can get in it. So hopefully they can join from there. So I'm live now on Instagram as well. But yeah, so when I think about this, when they called it a health crisis, when they said it was something that had to do with Shells, when they said it was a health crisis that dealt with the cardiovascular system, when it dealt with your lungs. These are people who run for a living. They run every day. There's no way that they should have been subjected to it. And Kyrie stood in the fold for those athletes. And I was so appalled. Listen, this is what I want y'all to do, is never forget those people who stood against you in a time when they should have stood with you. It was easy for the other athletes to stand with him. It's easy. Even now, it's easy for entertainers to stand with Kanye, but they're not. These are the things that are kind of, these are the things that you have to watch, is how people posture their position when things are going on. Yeah, Shells, I got to, man. I think that you have to look at who's in alignment with you and start moving differently. Unfortunately, what up, Jira? Unfortunately, these people have felt that they had the support of their friends and their relationships. And it's funny how you have to be going through something to find out that people aren't with you. It's unfortunate, actually. You know what I'm saying? What up, Sharice? What up, Taushi? It's unfortunate that they have to stick their neck all the way out. And I know what it feels like. I know what and I understand why they do it. They're saying, look, man, I ain't asking you to be me. Kanye West, Kyrie, Kaepernick, all these different individuals aren't asking you to assume their position as front men for the cause. They're just saying, hold me down, man. We talk about loyalty in our community. We talk about keeping it real and 100 and all that kind of stuff, man. We have got to manage differently. And we have to, what up, Red Baby? We have to manage differently and manage it. What up, Truly? What up, Berto? What up, Stacy? We have to do something different. We want different results, but everybody wants it by doing the same thing. And then when you have clear-cut examples of people doing what needs to be done, we're watching them get crucified publicly, and we have an opportunity to make a difference in how that looks as well. And we haven't done it yet. Right now, people are standing idly by. If y'all want to see, and this is what's happening out there. And I wish I could find it. There are 6 things that they want Kyrie Irving to do. I know some of y'all have seen it. It's the most deplorable. It's the most deplorable display. And Farrakhan talked about an example of it, and about having to go to. So this is what happened, so y'all understand. And you can see it in real time in our generation, because it happened in Malcolm's generation. Farrakhan was asked to meet with the rabbis in that community. And upon meeting with them, they sat down to have dinner, and that's right. That's right, Shells. They want him to meet with the Jewish leaders. Now, they did this back in the day with Farrakhan, and Farrakhan went to this meeting, and they said, Farrakhan, they had dinner and they were eating and everything was cool. Then all of a sudden, it was like, after we finish eating, we'll go upstairs. And they told him, they gave him a list of demands. We want you to stop, they wanted Farrakhan to remove his book. They wanted him to apologize publicly and do some other things. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the badge, Berto. And what it is they want to emasculate you publicly regarding your cause. If your cause had any strength to it, if it had any veracity to it, if there's any influence in your cause, they want you to publicly denounce it. Now, that's what they asked Farrakhan to do as well. Now, when you look at what they just asked him to do, and if somebody can find it, that'd be super dope. But they want Kanye West. They want you to bow down, Taushi. Exactly. They want Kyrie. And this is what y'all seen as a pattern. First, we want a public apology. Well, he apologized and donated some money. But because the head of the NBA, guess what? The commissioner is what? He's Jewish. And that wasn't enough. Thanks, Shell. I appreciate the bad Shells. It wasn't enough for him to apologize and donate money. Now they've suspended him for 5 games and gave him a list of 6 things. They want him to apologize. They want him to meet with the rabbis. They want him to take counseling on Jewish issues. It's the most unbelievable request that you would never ask a man. You would never say that to their face because they sock you in your face if you ever said that to a real man. You say, hey, I want you to do this before we say everything's good. And Taushi, here's the thing. Taushi just typed, I would never play another game for the NBA. And that's what brings us to this conversation today. Kyrie is contemplating retirement. How is it that a man can post something, not even say what his perspective is on his post, and be publicly admonished to the point where I need you all to show some empathy for Kyrie. I need you all to really understand what it would take for somebody to experience this. Listen to me, man. And it's making me madder as I talk about it. Kyrie Irving spent his life learning to play at the highest level so that one day he could entertain the world with his gift. Listen, y'all are missing me. This dude played basketball as a kid. Then he played basketball in middle school. Then he played basketball in high school. Now, I don't know if y'all understand, there's a level of sacrifice. To be as good as Kyrie is, there's a level of sacrifice that you have to have. A level of discipline that you have to have. A level of consistency. This man has spent more of his life preparing for the stage that he's on, only to have it ripped away for, I don't care what nobody says. Basketball shouldn't even be associated with the conversation that's going on with the situation with him. Why? Because none of this happened on the court. None of this is a basketball issue. Yet he's having to sacrifice, even at the he's having to make the greatest sacrifice of his life for protection. Do y'all understand that? Who is going to protect these people, man? And how? So that should be part of the question that y'all got is, what can we do to protect them in the midst of them going to bat for us? And here's some ways to do it. And I've been talking about this, and I hope this permeates somebody's mind. I hope this requires you. I hope that y'all go out and y'all communicate with other people and help them understand something ain't right. And here's what we can do about it. Yeah, Shells has said on Instagram. Shell says, how many times in the press conference did he say he did not want to speak about what he posted because it has nothing to do with the game of basketball? He has navigated this as perfect as you can navigate it. He has directed the conversation how it should be directed when it's coming at him from these crazy ass angles. What needs to happen? we have to. I've watched some of it, Yakini. It's a long documentary. You know what I mean? We have to manage to support differently, right? And what up, Alpha? And the support system that we got to have for these athletes. I know some of y'all don't want to hear this. I know some of y'all gonna punk out. But I need y'all to stand in place. Turn off ESPN. Turn in those tickets to those games and say, hey man, I've changed my mind. I don't like the operation of this place. Listen, change the narrative on. They feel so comfortable. I hate that. I hate the fact that they feel so comfortable to do this. They do it like it's nothing, like it's not affecting people's lives, like Kyrie ain't taking care of himself and several other people. Most of these athletes who have acquired wealth are employing friends. Look at LeBron James employed several of his friends and created other millionaires and billionaires. These people are looking out for not only their immediate family, but in their action, in the way that they're moving, they're looking out for all of us. And what are we doing, man? Like, we got to do, these are simple things. These don't even cost you nothing. Like, now some of these things will cost, and these are the sacrifices you got to make to join in. But none of you, nobody on this live can talk junk about what it costs you to not buy Adidas, to not buy Nikes, or to throw your Adidas out and throw your Nikes out, or to not go to those games and all that. Guess what? It may cost you that $100, $200, $300. I'll go as far as say, listen, it may cost you $1,000. It cost Kyrie Irving to stand in place and say, I'm not getting this vaccine shot. You know how much it cost him? Over $30 million. I don't want to talk about money with y'all. Yeah, it's time to, listen, I don't want to say boycott Spacely, because boycotting, we need to quit the NBA. Good morning, Jaleesa. We need to quit the NBA. We need to quit certain things, man, and then rewrite them. The Constitution, when it comes to certain things, need to be quit. And I know y'all think that's crazy, but it needs to be shut down until they fix it. What do they do when the health inspector comes into a place and he sees that the environment is wrong? What does he do? He shuts it down. He don't even have a conversation with it. He put a sticker on the front. There needs to be a sticker on the NBA right now. There needs to be a sticker on Adidas and Nike and all these other places. What are you willing to put a sticker on to say, not now? We're not going to acquiesce to that. Because they're out here publicly assassinating people who are standing in the fold, people who are raising attention, people who are asking questions. Hey, man, what's this whole thing about, we're not who we are? We are who we are. Listen, it's too much. It's too much for us to sit idly by and not communicate correctly publicly as a whole. This is a everybody thing. But who needs to be at the forefront for our community is us. That's right. Truly, I posted that as well. It truly said it takes everyone. No one person can do it alone. Why do we have these people out here participating by themselves? Yeah, man. Reed says sports are rigged. They have the same license as the WWE. I quit sports when Cap took his knee. At some point, we got to. At some point, and I don't even need everybody to do it. I just need 70%. I'll even take 50%. If there's a 50% drop off in every aspect, if there's a 50% drop off on Adidas sales, if there's a 50% drop off on Nike sales, if it's a 50, but all that economic showing of strength is only part of it. Now, little do y'all know, like over the, after posting some of the things I posted on my Instagram, and if you haven't seen it, you're gonna have to go to my Instagram and look at my last 5 posts. They're very informative and they're very intentional on how this isn't a one-off. This has been happening throughout time. This is a plan in terms of the conversation the conversation surrounding anti-Semitism. That conversation has been going on since the days of Malcolm X. And if you go back and watch one of my videos, he breaks it down so clearly so that people understand what it means to be anti-Semitic. You as a black person, you as a descendant of Abraham cannot be anti-Semitic because, you know what I'm saying, because you're Jewish as well. There was nothing in the documentary other than the truth, Taushi. The truth is what they want to admonish you for. You'll see in one of my posts where it says they call you objectionist, or if you're a person who goes against the grain, the first line of defense is to call you an anti-Semitic person. Once they put the anti-Semitic tag on you, then they allow the ADL and other of these social agencies to come in and start canceling you. And who's always at the front? What do they want you to do? All of a sudden, they want you to talk to a rabbi. What? Yeah, they want you to kneel before the rabbi, because what they're always trying to purport is that they are the chosen people. And what happens is when you watch this documentary, it says, you may be, but so are black people. And they don't want to include black people in the conversation. That's it. Yep. They think we can't do it. They bet on thinking we can't unite for greater change, despite the fact that we've done it. True story. We have historically done it with the boycotting of the bus industry. What are we going to do today, though? We're a whole new generation. The whole society is set up totally different, and we got to stop acting like those days of old. The mentality and the spirit should last forever. The action and how we do it has to be different. So we do have to shut down some of these liberties and some of these quote unquote luxuries that we're used to. And that should be the easy part, because everything that I'm talking about is about saving money. Now, you ain't gonna, just like anything, you're not gonna save money in the beginning, because you got to put the thing in action. You got to put the play together first. So what I mean by that is this: anytime you start a new business, you lose money. Everybody who knows anything about succeeding, you're going to lose something. So for instance, if I started working out for the first time today, you know what I'm going to lose? I'm going to lose that the comfort of not being sore. I'm going to be sore. There will be a reflection of me starting something new. And with that reflection of me starting something new, I also know, and this is the key point, I need you all to start changing your mindset to this. It's the tearing down of your muscles when you work out is what they call it. You're tearing down, the way the body is designed so you can build. Listen, the key word moving forward, and like I said, this is the conversation I've been having from some of my close friends reached out to me based off of, my conversation. If y'all didn't watch them videos from Saturday something got in me and I just started, you know how I get. Y'all know how once I'm on, I'm on. And so Saturday, I began a conversation that ended up being 5 videos deep. I think it's about 5 or 6 videos. It started with that Fred Price video where he said maybe black people need to go to war. And I said I agreed. And I didn't say physically, I said financially. That's what needs to happen. When we stop watching NBA, when we stop watching ESPN, when we stop showing up at games, when we stop supporting Adidas, Nike, Balenciaga, Vogue, and all these different places, we are effectively going to war financially. And it's necessary, because they only respect, in this country, they only respect the dollar. They only respect the dollar. So give me a second. I gotta do some house business. Somebody's coming by to drop something off. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back, y'all. I'll be right back. Talk in the chat. I'll be right back. All right. So let me read some comments right quick. What's the name of the documentary? It's called From Hebrews to Negroes. I just came on. Is he speaking on the documentary? Yes, I am speaking on that. Let me see. So the what we're dealing with, Yoshua, is the best time to do because only people who aren't planning for their future are out there spending. We can afford to be more diligent about saving and investing for generations to come. So I left off with this, right? Building. That's right. Agent said after all the sports leagues, product is the players. And it hurts me that these players don't understand. I understand they're under contract, understand they have obligations, but they also have to understand that they have power, and their power is in the community. Without us, there is no league. If there's nobody to watch the league, then there's nobody to pay these players. And unfortunately, they become a side effect of not doing the right thing. They become the side effect of not doing the right thing. Listen, and I'm at some point we got to put the players on notice. Listen, man, if you ain't rocking with us, that means you're rocking against us. If you're not part of the solution, you are part of the problem. That's universal. That goes for everybody. If you're not understanding what needs to be done and willing to do it, when you're locked outside of the collective, don't be mad. You chose. Everyone has one of the coolest things about life is that you have an opportunity to make a decision. You have an opportunity to choose. All of us, we have an opportunity to choose. And I'm sorry, I know that if you're on YouTube, you're gonna hear everything a little bit differently. There's a connection. There was a connection I meant to make on my TikTok. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can do it. In my anxiousness to start today's show, I was just moving so fast. I don't think you guys can even hear. You guys couldn't even hear the music or whatnot because I had the music playing, and I know my voice might have sounded differently or whatnot. Yeah, they had no problem posting end racism on the courts, helmets, and end zones, but they did not do. They're not. It's lip service. When it comes to the actuality of doing what needs to be done, these people and places are just providing lip service. They aren't providing a solution by no means. So this documentary just outlines how we should be included in the conversation. And somebody, listen, what was really cool, I think it was a Jewish person. It might have been a white person. I don't know if he was Jewish or not. He asked me a really dope question earlier on my Instagram. He was like, suppose they do change the narrative and include, black people in as, in the conversation of Jewish or whatnot. He said, what does that look like? What does that mean? And I was like, what do you mean? What does that mean? It means exactly what it means when a family member who has been outside of the family comes back home and realizes that, hey, the family has things on lock. We got crazy wealth, we got crazy respect, we got crazy control. So they bring them into the fold and they break them off a piece of that. They put them in the loop of that. They're now part of that solution. They're part of that situation where they are gaining those things. What do you mean? It means access all the way around across the board. If your family, if it's almost similar to equivalent to when rappers, for any instance, when 50 Cent was doing his thing and Tony Yayo went away, when Tony Yayo came back, 50 Cent had it laid out for him. That's what it is. There's a point where the Jewish community should be embracing the black community, the black Jewish people, the Hebrews should be embracing their brothers and sisters and adding them into the conversation. What up, Letitia? Never too late. You ain't never too late. But should be adding them into the conversation. As the chosen people, we should be included in the wealth building of all of this. We should be in the recipients of those opportunities that are afforded because of those sacrifices that we all made. But I was enlightened. I was pulled on the coattail and was told, like, listen, the conversation I'm having, the conversation I'm speaking of, when we talk, everybody is on board. Everybody's excited. But they added a caveat to it all that I think is really important, which is building. We have to build now. Now that we understand, I mean, and it's I don't want to say the word now. I think we've always known. You know what I'm saying? What up, Venus? I think we've always known, but we're at a place and point where we have to build now. Like our own, we have to build. And when I say our own, I mean completely build our own until we can divest back to Africa, because that's the only other solution globally that's going to work for us as a whole, is to get back and go back to where we came from. That is a real thing. And if we're not going to go back, then you have to build your there here. We have to build our there here. I would like to believe in Africa that you're going to do more business with other Africans than you would with other races of people. So when I say to you about building, I'm saying build now. There are people who already have infrastructure set up in the community for positive results for people who look like you. There are other people who are ahead of the game. If y'all are not supporting those people who are already ahead, meaning there are people who are absolutely trailblazing for their industries. There are people who are self-contained, Black-owned businesses that hopefully you're already patronizing. But again, I want to say the launching pad, and because people need dates, people need events or whatnot. The launching pad is February, Black History Month. You should already be participating and planning for that to be a success, but you should also be planning to take that and go beyond. If the players boycott and their owners decide to withhold and not honor the athlete's contract, who loses the most? It's millionaires going up against billionaires. Who money dries up first? It's not about the money drying up, right? What you'll find is we won't even get to that point because Jira, capitalists hate to lose capital. Capitalists hate to lose capital. So before it ever becomes a real issue with athletes boycotting, they're going to sit down at the table and say, we got to do something different. And they're going to try to sue and do it all. But you can't sue people who ain't got the money, like you said. And if anything, this is where the community has to bind together. Okay, well, we all, look, yeah, we got a mansion and some of these players can't afford to go through this. So we're going to pool our money together. And this is what needs to be happening now. They need to turn off social media for 2 months. The influence of the youth is crazy these days. True story. The owner don't want to lose the dollar. They don't. Taushi, these owners will not want to lose money. Nobody wants to lose money. That's why the boycott is what it is. That's why when you decide you're not going to spend your money on a bus and all that, do you know they lost $3,000 a day that they'll never get back during the Alabama boycott. $3,000 a day for 381 days. That's a battery thing. I got to figure out how to get that battery straight. They lost $3,000 a day. So imagine when you stop buying tickets for these games where these tickets start at $30, you know what I'm saying? That's 100 people that if 100 people stop going to these games, they lose $3,000 a game. But imagine 10,000 people not going. Imagine 100, and not going consistently. They're not going to want to take that L. You don't have to worry about, doing it for long, especially if you couple it with all the other merchandise and things like that. Jump out of those. Reed says money is not real. The power is in the people. We are the product. Attention is power. I think that yes and no, right? Money absolutely is the power. You get the money, the power, the money. Let me see something. You get the money, then you get the power, and then you get the respect. Right now, we don't have the respect, nor do we have the power because we don't have the money. Yep. When they had that lockdown, things was banoodles. They was trying to get people back. They tried any and every way to mitigate their damages. And that's what's going to happen. But you can't fold. Too many times in the past, we've allowed these situations to go with, they'll do something and minimize the effect. They have a policy of watering things down. They have a policy of making things, not as bad. Because they're okay. Listen, this is what you'll realize. They're okay with sacrifice to some degree. They'll bleed for a little bit. They have no problem with that. How much bleeding is going to depend on how resilient how much bleeding. Let me see if I can fix that right quick. Let me see if I can fix let me see if I can fix that, because it keeps doing that. Bear with me 1 second. TikTok is bugging out. Let me fix it so that TikTok doesn't continuously do yeah, it's the power red. Give me 1 second, y'all. Yeah, she said, "What's going on with your?" She said, "What's going on with your live?" Nah, it's the power on my So for some reason, it didn't charge last night. You truly said as soon as lockdowns were lifted, they showed people in line for sneakers. Yeah, you know what I mean. We have a responsibility. Man, and I think that outside of our immediate responsibilities, which is our families and loved ones, is that it extends to those people that are around us in our community. We all have to be advocates for the outcome in these situations. We, right now, if we don't do anything, we become the same as those people that are standing by and watching the police brutality happen when it happens. We are exactly like those people. We are the people with the cameras. We're the people who are filming the injustice happening. That is us. We become the historians of these horrific situations. Can these situations be mitigated? They wouldn't even try this stuff, man. They wouldn't even try, and that's the reason why so many people are silent. The Jewish community is showing you that anytime you think you're gonna say something slick or do something slick, we're gonna admonish you so that you know not to do it in the future. That's the whole premise behind J. Edgar Hoover. Like you said, Reed, J. Edgar Hoover wrote in a document there will be no black messiah. There will be no black leaders. We will mow you down the moment you think that you're going to influence your population of people. Ain't that crazy? They will mobilize against you for being a leader in your community, especially if you're speaking out or being indifferent about the position that they have taken upon us. No matter how whack that position is. Do y'all realize that they will not allow for there to be a black messiah? So when y'all say what happened to Tupac and y'all think it's a mystery that it went without, it went the way it went. Come on, man. How is the circumstances so perfect for something so heinous to happen unless it was a controlled environment? None of this stuff is coincidence. I'm sorry. I know some people want to believe it is. It's not. A majority of what you see and what you're experiencing is not coincidence. A lot of this stuff is and has been, continuous. Yo, I appreciate that. Whoever got the subscription, I think it said that. Yeah, appreciate that. But that's what it is. We can't sit by, man, and not recognize, what's going on. But the easy part, listen, it's easy to show your support. It's always easy. For even as simple as hitting the like button right now, hitting the share button. Those are easy ways to show support. But we got a nice number of people in the live. But if you looked at the shares in the live right now, it wouldn't reflect that. It starts off from a practice of always learning how to share and support. And as you do that, it gets easier to extend it because you understand what that means in the environments that you're in. Right now, turning off ESPN or blocking ESPN is going to be easy. I didn't even know that. Reed said Disney took Black Panther, and when you Google it, it comes up first. When you search it on Google, that's crazy. But understand that that is another problem that we have, is that we will sell ourselves short. We'll sell ourselves out in a heartbeat. And that's why we don't understand this. And that's why y'all looking at Kyrie Irving crazy. Because y'all say, man, I wouldn't do that. Man, he messing up his money. Those people who lead really, I mean, it ain't the most, honestly, it's not the most super thought out thing. It's a compelling thing that you have within you that makes you say, I got to stick my neck out here, because if I don't, nobody else will. I will be responsible. And those who have acquired a certain level of wealth say they remember where they came from. That's the other part that they don't understand about Black people. We remember being broke. We know what that feels like to have our lights cut off and to have to eat minimalistically. What up, Rose Petal? We know what that's like, so you can't threaten us with money. That's the thing. If I've been broke before, what you gonna say to me, man? I've been broke. I've been through that before. And that's why what I imagine that Kanye and Kyrie and others are saying is like, I've done more with less. I'm okay. But I'm not okay with my heart and my mind and my spirit being torn apart because I'm watching what's happening to those people who look like me. Now, first, I'm torn apart with what you all are doing to me. I believe that's the position of a Kanye. Is he's saying, his position may be a little more selfish than Kyrie's. Kyrie's position is, for what he's dealing with, is undeserving. And I know the question that comes across everybody's head is, where does Jeff Bezos play a part in all this? And so when I read the comment, when you say money is not real and the powers of the people, this is a clear example of they don't have enough money to fight a Jeff Bezos and his decision. And the crazy part is the CEO of Jeff's company is Jewish. So that would really be worth the conversation to figure out what is his stance. You would assume that because he would publish such a video and book that he would be saying that I do too recognize that Black people are the real chosen people. I recognize that the Black people are the Jewish Hebrews. I recognize this. But we don't have an opportunity to have that conversation with him, so we won't know exactly. But do you get it? Like this seems like, and then, none of this stuff becomes a popular issue when it's the other way around. There's a video floating around, I don't know if you guys have seen it, of Sarah Silverman. Yeah, it is, but that's kind of, I think that's what Jeff Bezos. So on TikTok, Taushi said, for me, isn't the documentary a book, and isn't it a documentary and a book? Freedom of speech. Yes, but that's the part that I'm sure that Amazon is leaning toward, is saying we're a book publisher. All this is us publishing a book, and they happen to make a movie out of the book, so we're showing that. Most people I'm saying Kyrie and Kyrie, they exactly, Belladonna. But there's an elitist group. So here's what I want y'all to get from this. The reason why it's such a big deal is because if in fact the Jewish people include Black people underneath that umbrella, well, guess what that means? That means they got to start communicating about reparations. That means that they have to include themselves in the conversation of equality. That means that they have to include themselves. There are a lot, Taushi. There are a lot out there. If you there are a few videos that even popped up when I joined, where there were different rabbis and people who were saying that that historically the world has been manipulated, and that matters. What up, Moroccan Queen? It matters in the overall conversation. In this is our unification is global, and it's not at this point because there are people who benefit from not including us in that conversation. It means admitting that they were wrong. It means doing what's right now. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about an apology, right? In the tragedies that have come before us in this world, apologizing. What up, Mary? Apologizing means they have to go back and fix something. You can't apologize and the circumstances remain the same and we keep moving forward like it's all good. That's impossible to do. That's lunacy. And that's why there has to be a change. That's why there has to be an adjustment in not only the conversation, but now the positioning of those players who sit at the table. As you should be, Moroccan, like you should be. Moroccan said, hey brother, I'm so heated about this. It is infuriating to see that people are losing their livelihoods, things that they work. What up, DJ Dubs? I can't emphasize, I really need y'all to understand, man, these people have gone through the most. In the words of Kanye West, he's gone through the wire. Gone through the wire to get in the position that he's gone through, only to have people admonish him for saying the truth. The insane thing is this: common sense tells you people south of equator will be darker skinned. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's but here's the thing. Common sense ain't common. And it's that way for a reason. Why? Because it relieves people of their responsibility to the truth. It allows people to navigate differently when it should be easy. Listen, life is easy, man. I be saying this to people on a regular basis. Life is easy. It's when people choose not to recognize the simplicities of it and complicate things, then and only then does life become a challenge. When people decide to insert their own narratives instead of the truth and simple logic. It's easy. It's easy. It's easy to say that there are going to be more black people in Africa than anywhere else in the world. Why? Because the way our world is set up is that your body is designed to manage itself in those conditions. There are 3 brothers that descended from Abraham that went to different parts of the world. The Arabic community, which is the Middle East, the Northern Europe, which is the fair-skinned Jewish people, and then Africa. That's it. And they want to negate the fact that there are black Jewish people, which makes no sense when they're the direct descendants of Shem, who was the son of Abram. It makes no sense. And so that's the story they've been saying, is that no, you aren't, because you were from this place or whatever. But how come all of the places that they're fighting over and that they do that these conversations are happening, guess where they're at? They're in Africa. They're not in Germany. They're not in Siberia. They're not in any other. They are in Africa. This whole thing, the whole setup and scenario takes place on the continent of Africa. So logically, we shouldn't even be discussing certain elements of this. Like, the truth be told, there are certain conversations I ain't never got to have with you because it is what it is. I am a black man. I ain't never got to conversate or converse with anybody about me being black. It is what it is. It's common sense. So when somebody says, have you experienced racism, I'm in America. I ain't got to explain. It ain't shit. You shouldn't even have to ask me that. If anything, you should be asking me, what type of racism have you experienced? You don't have to ask me about that. There's not a black man on this earth that hasn't experienced racism if they're over the age of 21. I'm sorry. And if you don't recognize it, that's you being naive to it, because you're exposed to it every step of the way. Now, I'm not saying that that all people outside of black people have some kind of weird way of being or something. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is that there are certain things you should know without ever having to have a conversation about it. That's why I love South Carolina. Geechee, Gullah culture feels like home sometimes. No, absolutely. Absolutely. There are places in New Orleans is another place like that, Reed, where there are communities that are not far removed from the culture of home. And when I say home, I'm saying Africa. There in the Caribbean, where a lot of us were distributed. Our ancestors were distributed when during the slave trade. But to ask those silly questions, there are things that you should know. There are just some things you should know and should go without having a conversation. This one about being anti-Semitic is one of those things. There's no way you can be. It's almost like the same conversation where they say, black people can be racist. You can't. To be racist, you have to be in a position of power that affects other people's communities. We don't have that. Not here. You can be an African and be racist, but you can't be an American and be racist. We are not the controlling fashion here in America. And it goes back to we've had an amazing past week of great research and development. One being the conversation from Dr. Fred Price when he said that they awarded Japanese people after they attacked America. Listen to this. I hope y'all understand this. After Japanese people attacked America, the United States gave $20,000 to the Asian people who were suffering from the conversation about them while they were here. How about that? And he said in his conversation, he said, you know what? Maybe we need to challenge this place too. I can't think of, it's been over 60 years since we've challenged this community in our development. That's crazy. It's been 60 years. If you guys can think of an argument, if you guys can think of a position that we've taken up, where we've collectively really gotten results that we've wanted. What up, Dove? If y'all can think of something, man, or a time and place that we've done it effectively, as it has been done in the past, what up, Lip? Then let me know, because I can tell you, as long as my eyes have been open and I've been old enough to understand things, I have yet to see a point in place where we have put our foot in the ground and said, hell no. Like black people would say it, like, hell no. Like we've been like, well, like we haven't sat and said, look, we done. When are we going to say we're done with certain aspects of how we're being treated? Kyrie is saying, I am done with this conversation. I am willing to forego what I've spent my life developing. I don't know if y'all really understand that, man. I can't say that. I don't even know how I can say that so y'all understand. All his life, he's been working towards where he is right now. He's playing the best basketball right now as he's ever played. And he's about to say, in the prime of my career, in the best time, who did it? There was one other person who did this. His name is Muhammad Ali. And I want y'all to understand how I feel about the Muhammad Ali situation, because I really, really care about it. He came to my high school when I was a kid, and he's always been an influence to me, just as he's been an influence to everybody else. But Muhammad Ali did exactly what all people should do when these adversities come against you for the injustices that they're trying to put on you. He said, I quit. Basically, go on my page. It's one of the last 5. You'll see you'll see a picture of me, but you'll hear Malcolm talking. There's another one with the government agent talking about how using the word anti-Semitic is a tool that they use when people are obstructionists. And then there's another one with Dr. Fred Price. You need to watch them all. Y'all need to visit and leave a comment and a like and all that for all of those Instagram videos that I just pushed, the last 5. I hope so. Agent said, I love the conversations. I feel that these conversations will inspire action. Keyword action. Yes, Taushi, listen. Taushi, you're talking about what I really want everyone to emphasize and take away from this conversation and share with people is build, build, build. It was driven in my head this weekend. Y'all don't understand. I got a dope community of friends or whatnot that when they see, they respect my position, they respect my conversation, and they add to it. I've had several friends call and Buongiorno. What up, Lucia? It's on Instagram, Spacely. I've had several friends hit me up and be like, "Yo, man, I love what you're doing." Da da da. But help people focus that we're not trying to tear anything down that we shouldn't be building back up. We have to tear some of these things down, but we got to build it back how we want it built. It's difficult to do that, Red Fox. It is very difficult. I don't think that's the word. I think the word is showing animosity and whatnot. You can't be racist against your own people. It's more of showing animosity, envy, and those different kind of things. But it doesn't add up to racism. Is a whole nother action word. It's a whole nother word. It's a whole nother way of being. It's extended past. It's more attitude and how you're able to be in a position of power to influence somebody's position as a group of people. So you can have some racist ideas, but you can't practice racism that way. But we should be building, y'all. And that's why I really don't talk too much about tearing things down. Most of the times y'all hear me talk about building things up. Y'all hear me talking about putting things in place. So when I say to you all, this pooling of the black dollar, putting things together and putting ourselves in a position to prosper, I'm saying that in regards to also gaining leverage in the public space. We have no commodity, y'all. We don't own anything but the money that we got. What up, Wiggy? We don't own anything but the money in our pocket, the money in our bank accounts. So if that is our product and our leverage piece, then we have to use it more effectively. Most people aren't even investing money to make more money on top of the money that they got. I don't understand that. It doesn't take much, but it takes sacrifice. Sometimes you got to not go out to eat that month. You know what I'm saying? And push yourself in a position where now your money's making money. You can't consistently be consumers. Consumers are like locusts. They just take things and tear it down and leave it desolate. You have to build. We have to get in the mindset of building. And if you can't build it by yourself, find somebody who wants to build with you. Collaboration is key because a lot of these families aren't in position to sacrifice as much as they need to have an effective response. So you're going to have to figure that out. You got to find, or we got to create community. We have to create a better community. We can't keep complaining about the community and then not look at solutions and ways to do it. Somebody got to be smart in the community. Somebody got to have an education that's based on finance. Just like I know we have people in the community who have an education when it comes to self-defense. Yet those people are not being, we're not even imposing on those people to teach us. There are people who live 3, 4, 5 doors down from you that know karate, that know self-defense, that know how to shoot a gun, that know how to do all kind of stuff. Yeah, they understand green and we know how to spend it, but we got to learn how to build with that green more. That's it. Like if every day, Angela, what's happening? Building should be at the forefront of what are you going to build today? That needs to be part of the conversation. What are you going to build? Whether it's a business, whether it's what are you going to build? How are you going to put something together that's going to what you want to do is build something so dope that it outlives you. You want to be the Steve Jobs of whatever it is that you're doing. Steve Jobs' legacy will forever be cemented in this iPhone. Excuse me. You can't talk about Mac without talking about Steve Jobs and his commitment and what he did. But Kyrie is standing in the position that Muhammad Ali is standing in. Kyrie is standing in the shoes of Muhammad Ali. And if y'all think that I believe that Muhammad Ali, I've not heard of anybody suffering from the disease that Muhammad Ali got as bad as he's gotten it, right? we don't have to like each other to build either. Yep, we go to jobs every day with people we don't. Yep, you're absolutely right. We're building other people's places and hate the people that's in them. Muhammad Ali was one of the most prolific speakers in the black community at the time that he was alive, and he was one of the most influential people, and he made some of the most controversial decisions for black people. In his conversation, he was too articulate to catch a disease that only affected the way you talk and your action. Do y'all understand that? Like, I'll be just looking at stuff. Muhammad Ali caught a disease that I haven't seen. Y'all show me another boxer who's gone through the situation that Muhammad Ali has went through. Somebody show me another boxer that has went through the ability to lose the ability to have a conversation. As prolific as he was, they said, let me shut you up. That's what I believe. They didn't want to take him out because they didn't want to make him a martyr. All right, Angela, thank you so much. Think about this. They didn't want to make Muhammad Ali a martyr. They could have, at a time in history where people who were influential like Muhammad Ali were getting killed. You mean to tell me they couldn't have killed Muhammad Ali? Instead, they didn't want to make him a martyr. Yeah, man. If y'all don't think that they have a way of community, what's up, super nerd? They don't. If y'all think they don't have a way of managing these situations and doing it in a way that says, "I'll show you." That's what that was for me. When Muhammad Ali supposedly got debilitated the way that he did, if y'all don't think that I'm in my mind, that's right, Matt Schwinn. It would have been too obvious to take Ali out, and they would have made him a martyr, and they didn't want to make him a martyr. There's more power in martyrdom than there is in most people being alive. It's in their death. We do more in the name of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X nowadays than, you know what I'm saying, even though it was super effective when they were alive. But should they had taken Martin Luther King out, they would have incited not only the America, but one of the strongest and most unified factions in the black community, which most people don't like to acknowledge. But the Muslim faith, or the FOI, the Friends of Islam, and all those people, they have a structure that I wish the whole of black America had. The structure that they have, the discipline that they have, is what's needed throughout our community, point blank, period. You ain't got to like Farrakhan, and you ain't got to like the Muslim faith and all that. But if you don't give it up for the way that they move and manage, when the George Floyd thing was coming around and people was like, yo, we got to do something, and they showed the way that they were organized and whatnot. You've heard the stories of when Malcolm X went to the hospital, but you saw the organization. That's sorely needed in our community. But no one wants to. You got to understand that these people are being groomed and trained. So no, they couldn't take Fruit of Islam. No, they couldn't take Muhammad Ali out that way, because it would have been too impactful to the community. It could have set things way off. As Malcolm X would have loved it to have been, because it would have made his point. It would have brought us where we needed to be. Now, I think that in our willingness to want to get along with people, we lost who we are as a community. We don't care about getting along. We really care about results. We really care about fairness. We really care about respect. And we've lost it because we've allowed people to come in and quote unquote show us their way of doing things that isn't our way of doing things. And yet we've adopted it, and now we're complaining instead of making adjustments and making changes. Being in cahoots with other people has diluted who we are as a people. We've tried to embrace other people's cultures when they are dying to be a part of ours, when they're breaking their necks trying to do and associate and assimilate our culture. So first off, we have influence. We just don't use it correctly. And people are saying, And here's the thing, the adjustment they don't want to recognize. You can entertain me, but you can't train me. You can entertain me, you can dance for me, you can play basketball for me, you can play football for me, but you can't tell me how to improve my relationship with you. You can't tell me how you want things to be in the bettering our relationship. That to me sounds crazy. When that lady told them, shut up and dribble, that's exactly how they feel. That's exactly how the outside community that's in control of where we live at feels. Shut up and dribble. Dance for me. Sing me a song. They would rather elevate those positions that don't require them to think and change. Y'all have to understand that. True story. Reed acknowledges we all have money and we just don't use it correctly. When you look in your neighborhoods and there are other nationalities supplying the needs for your family. Yeah, it was a lady who said, shut up and dribble. So y'all can understand that they'll appreciate the arts, but they won't appreciate the mindset of the artist. They don't understand. They don't respect, nor will they appreciate that there's pain and passion in what these artists are doing. That the reason why they achieve at certain levels because they were trying to escape the pain of their childhood. They're trying to do something better. There's not an black athlete out there that went to do what they were doing without keeping in mind, I want to take care of my family. I want to make a difference. But they're telling you publicly, you can't educate America. We haven't given you that pass. Matter of fact, we only gave you enough money to keep you out of the way from your political. You can be as smart and as educated and as passionate about your community as you want to be, but you can't do it on my platform and you can't share your opinion with everybody else. What up, Chuck? You can't do that with a Veronica. You can't use my platform for the benefit of you and your people. You can use it for you. Yeah, you can. We'll promote you. We can support you as a singular unit. But the minute that you start influencing others, let me go back. It says it right here in the J. Heger FBI manual. There will be no black messiahs. Do you think the situation will break the dam for black people to unite? I hope so, Alpha. I hope what it does is I hope that, here's my challenge. In the past, it hasn't. I can't tell you, I asked this question before, what is it going to take for the community to support each other? What's it going to take? Because I don't know. It's all being done in real time right in front of us, and yet we have not changed our position, not yet. We haven't decided collectively to do something different. I don't know what it's going to take. I would hope that this incident where Kyrie, his hands are free, Kyrie ain't done nothing to deserve the admonishments that he's getting. I hope that people will look at that and say, that's so unfair. I want to do something about it. I'm going to, and then people, and the reason why I'm even speaking about it so people can understand that it doesn't require much. It requires the simplest things in life. It requires discipline and resistance. Resist the urge to buy Adidas. Resist the urge to buy Nike. Resist the urge to support the NBA. All these entities, just resist the urge. Just stop. Stand still for a while. Go the other way. That's it. That's the only requirement that this situation and future situations will require. But if you get it right, listen, we only got to get it right long enough to change it. We only got to get it right long enough to change it. Once that becomes it, then we manage to move on to something else because that's no longer in our viewpoint. And that's the problem, right? We can't get through the first hurdle in order to jump the other ones with more ease, because we know what it means to us to jump the hurdles. We can't even get past one checkpoint. We playing a video game and keep being at the front of the video game. We don't even know that it gets a bit easier as you go. We don't say that as you play, the more you're a part of it, you gain the training that you need to overcome it. We are. They are more focused on him losing money and not messing. But that is a trick that is one of the 48 laws of power, is using someone's momentum so much against them that nobody is paying attention to what made him run in the first place. People don't realize, people ain't even talking about why Kanye West started talking about what he's talking about. People not even communicating about why Kyrie's conversation and position is what it is. They changed the whole narrative of Colin Kaepernick's "I'm doing this because of police brutality" to "you're being unpatriotic and that's the reason why you're doing it." That part. Every time you go down the right way, they smoke and mirror or accuse you or ridicule you or say you're being anti-Semitic or bring these other mechanisms into play to shift your focus, to move you away. And it ain't even about shifting your focus. You know who it is? They want the sheep. They want the general public. They want the same people that willingly went and got the shot. They want those people because they know those people exist. What up, King? They know those people exist, and they know that the mob will always beat the minority. The majority will always beat the minority, but they play you even in that. If they believe, it's so diabolical when you say it out loud. When it comes to situations like canceling people, they depend on the mob to do that. They set it up by saying these people being transphobic. They set it up by saying these people are being anti-Semitic. They set it up by saying these people are being racist. And then they give it to the public and then they repeat it on the media over and over and over again. But what they won't tell you is when you guys are out there seeing police brutality being done and it's 40 of y'all and it's just 7 police, that y'all are the majority and can overtake that situation and save somebody's life from the injustice. They don't say that. They don't say that in this environment that we live in, that should you all come together as the majority that you are, that you can make the changes happen because you are the majority. So there's a duality to the conversation that they're having, and they're praying that you don't get it. Again, I need y'all to see Dr. Price. Dr. Price. That's right, Schwinn. There's more of us. There always will be more of us than it is of them. Always. And it would be even more should we not buy into the division that's being put out there. They have different organizations for different sub-agendas to keep their hands clean and to keep things separate. So they don't want our communities to communicate with one another because we'll realize we're being played by the same person. We all have the same adversary, ultimately. And the adversary isn't even being affected by the decisions we're making because of those subgroups that they have out there fighting those fights, and because we're so divided, we're looking left and right when what we should be dealing with is right in front of us. Dr. Price, yeah, Dr. Price. Look on my Instagram and watch the very first video after I did like 2 The Look videos, but after those you can see it. And he's just profound as I don't know what. He was prolific. He's passed away now, but he was prolific in his position, and all leaders. Now, when I say all leaders, I mean pastors, I mean spokespeople. All those people need to be having the conversation that he was having with the world when he was alive. He was saying, this ain't right, and we're going to have to do something. And that is it in a nutshell. Things aren't right. What are you willing to do? I just told y'all the free and simple stuff that keeps you out of harm's way. I already told you that. Ultimately, you may have to be put in harm's way. And that's the other part of the conversation that always had me on it. I know you. I'm doing good, KJ. the other part of the conversation is those people in leadership positions have a responsibility to their communities to tell those people who are capable in the community to mobilize themselves. How are you going to be in the community and you don't know how to help the next door neighbor? How you don't know the Heimlich maneuver? How you don't know how to put out a fire? Hell, how do you know not how to grow fruit? How you not know how to grow vegetables? And you got people around you who were bred and born from people who knew how to do gardens, from people who knew how to do self-defense, from people who went to the military and got trained up. How is it possible the resources for change are around us, but yet we can't pull them together or put them in position to teach and train others? We're watching people on TV. We're watching Kyrie, we're watching Kanye teach and show us how you do this. Kyrie more so than Kanye, but Kyrie is showing you, I am willing to stand in this place because he knows the impact that what he's doing is what's needed to happen. It will reverberate throughout generations. But it only makes a difference if we get involved. We can't worry about the agents in our communities ever, because as many agents that are in our community, there are more of us than them. And if we don't play the numbers game, if we don't continue to move, if we do not move knowing that there's more of us than anybody else, if we don't support those people who stick their necks out there and show that, then we're bugging and we won't get the change that we say that we want. We really don't want what we say we want. I tell people, a conversation when I'm counseling people is, what does the end result look like? What does the end result look like? And that was that question that person asked me earlier. They asked me, what's the outcome? Well, the outcome should be us freely being in positions to build. There you go. Everett, exactly. So as soon as we start to build, we get swooped down upon. That is the fear that they want you to have. But the way around that is in war. In war, the leaders are never out in front because you need the brainchilds, you need their perspectives. The reason why the leaders are always kept off and protected is because they're the ones who are consistently coming up with the ideas that are going to help move us forward. If those leaders that are help moving us forward are protected, then they can only kind of affect some of the people who are laboring over these movements, right? And those people are valuable as well, but they won't even take the time to deal with them because they're so invested on getting to those people who are leading the way. In war, they don't. In war in the past, they used to when they used to be out there on the front lines, they used to hide protect the kings. They used to hide who they were so you wouldn't know who was really responsible for the strategy. Now we have people like Kyrie and Kanye who have to go out in the public and say, I'm the strategist. I'm the one with all the great ideas. And then we watch them get crucified and we don't say, he's not alone. You're going to have to damage all of us. You're going to have to affect more than just these two kings. You got to do something to so many more of us. And that's when it becomes obvious these people, their ideas, their goals, their desires are as great as ours or greater, and they're not going anywhere. They're not going to leave this alone. In the past, we've ebbed and flowed. Unfortunately, when they have taken and done what they're doing to Kyrie and Kanye, when they crucify one of our leaders, we all fall back into this great sorrow. We all fall back into a great sorrow. I want to hear it, Savannah. We fall into this lull and we revert back to our behavior before we were excited, before we were focused, before we were determined. It's like we turn away when we see the adversity. Tiananmen Square. If you ever watch the video of those people in Tiananmen Square, it should be inspiring to you that people with less are willing to do more to change their circumstance. We are so privileged that we are afraid to move from within our comfort zone. I know that I put me and my family at risk when I have these conversations. I don't always mean physical risk. I mean I mean financial risks. I know somebody is looking at this and saying, I won't do business with that guy. That he was, Everett Prince was a part of that fallout. Michael Jackson, part of that fallout. Excuse me, I'm gonna drink my apple cider vinegar. Well, number one, we need the people who are standing up to, first of all, to be for the people. No, I disagree, Savannah. I need them to be selfish to some degree as well. If you're good at being selfish, meaning if you're good at looking out for yourself, guess what? When you extend that past yourself, I can only imagine you're gonna be a beast. You have to include yourself in the results, so you don't, or there's no one greater that you want to see happy or succeed than yourself. I'm sorry. You are the star in the story of your life. There's no way you don't want your star to come out on top. I understand and when we look at these leaders, I understand there's selfishness to them. I understand that. I understand that, Savannah. But without these people, you got to understand, some of these people aren't supposed to be leading the whole way. This is a marathon. This is a relay race. Listen, look at it as a relay race. Kanye took off running. And he got so far down, he started looking, where am I hand this baton to? Who can I hand this baton to? And before he could hand the baton, somebody said, man, you ain't even supposed to be running this race. You da-da-da-da, and started to clown and started to really expose themselves. Exactly, Everett. All in together. But it's a relay race. Now, how many of us are running? That's what it has been in the past, Red Baby. Most have stopped at self. And at the point of that, I think that's where those of us who are less selfish come into play. I think that, yeah, Kanye West got the conversation started. And then Kyrie had nothing to do with it. But because the conversation was out there, these people were, it's like are on high alert. Oh my God, somebody else is about to join them. Let's shut that down before they can mobilize. Well, in doing that, they've exposed themselves even further, because that's not what Kyrie was doing. Now that they've exposed themselves and put themselves out there, we have more resources and more opportunity to see what it is. Now it makes this opportunity so much easier and more powerful. Yeah, exactly, Everett. So I would say Kanye may have started the conversation. Kyrie is illuminating the conversation. But who of us are going to be transformed by the situation enough to change the circumstances? That's right. Both of these people, man, Kanye could have shut up and remained a ridiculous billionaire. He could have got billions on billions on billions. They didn't have to. Listen, Savannah, they're not going to make a movie about the Willie Lynch letter because it exposes too much of the truth. That is why we're even talking about the Hebrews to Negroes movie. It exposes too much truth. That kind of honesty ain't in this world. Not with the people that we dealing with. The last thing they want is the honesty of the history of the history of they are already trying to erase it out of the school books. No, please don't tell that story about how we did these folks. Because if they ever really got the balls, they would be coming after us. That's why they don't do that. That's why this movie is what it is. The truth, when they say the truth will set you free, that means free enough to take action. It don't mean free like you're going to be free and frolicking and, fly like a bird and all that. No, it means your mind is set free. So now you have the clarity you need to do what needs to be done. No, they did. They absolutely helped, Savannah. They've exposed it, and the rest that has to happen is on us. And you're right, enough. The truth, if they is the name of the game is deny, 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 deny. At some point, the positioning has to change from sitting and watching things happening to standing up and taking action. And part of that is with building infrastructure so that we can do things without the conversation of those people on the outside, that we can build and create. That Nat Turner movie, Everett, they did not want that to come out. Remember, they was trying to blackball the lead actor. And I heard it was toned all the way down, because what they don't want you to see is a black messiah. They don't want you to say, oh my God, we're capable of this. Because in the controlling fashion, Savannah, of our country, those are the people who are running industry and policy. You take how he dressed, how he is not grooming himself. There is something beyond that to have that much money and look like a hobo. There is a plan in the making, I believe. Yeah. Operation Paperclip, America led Nazi leaders in America after World War II, and some who, from that point on, our neighborhoods became the ghetto. I mean, for us to act like a lot of this isn't planned, we're tripping. And yes, Savannah, I think that he could have. I think that some people made some points, and this is where they said Kanye West went wrong, is that instead of naming individual Jewish people, he admonished a community. And to that degree, Savannah, I think he could have done something different. But then historically the issue is that historically and even now, the positioning of those people, and I guess from your point, his selfish conversation is that these, in his experience, which he's only been in the entertainment business, is that subsection of a community is the ones who've been affecting him. Right. Greg says, if after being hung from trees it wasn't enough to rebel, it only gave us enough to be civil. Yeah. And honestly, we all have some Nat Turner in us. We all have some Jeffrey Dorner in us. What are we saying? He wasn't being selfish, he was being honest, but he was unregulated and unexploited. What I realize is that, and this is the fault of Kanye and the fault of Kyrie, is that in bringing up these huge subjects and situations, that they have to remember that you cannot leave any room for anyone to think indifferent. Meaning, and I, again, with my people, I had this conversation. I said, Kanye West needs a right-hand man. He's the guy who's going to sit next to Kanye. When Kanye West says what he says, they're going to be very clear about it. They're going to dive in and help everybody understand more clearly what he meant. You know what I'm saying? So he would have, Kanye West would say, to your point, Savannah, he would say, the Jewish people, blah, blah, blah. And the person say, well, what Kanye West means when he says the Jewish people, he means the Jewish people that he's interacted with, like this person and this person and this person and this person. He needs that person. A true story, Everett. But that's what Kanye needs. Like, y'all don't even understand how I communicated with some of my people, and I was like, yo, I need to get on a 3-way call with Kanye. Because whomever is around him at this point, and it may be a fleeting moment, you know what I'm saying? It may not even be worth it at this point, but he absolutely needs the other part of the conversation to be had by somebody who can break it down simply and concisely versus leaving it out there on a general state. Because when you leave generalisms out there for the media, and the media has a position that they're being told to take on you, then they're going to exploit the holes in the conversation and make you look stupid or make you look anti-Semitic and all those different things. Schwind, I'm trying to see if that's going to happen. I'm trying to see if if I get on a call with Kanye and help and just explain to him like, bro, you can't do this alone. And you can't do it the way that you've been doing it because you've been leaving holes in the wall. You've been leaving room for them to poke through and admonish you and make you look crazy. I can believe that. And that's the other part, Everett. No matter his mentality, we have to back him in matters of the truth in the public space. Us talking about it, and this is why I get online talking about it. The talking about it amongst ourselves in our little core groups does nothing for what he's put out there. What he's put out there now is being attacked publicly by other people. So just like they want a public apology, we have to have public support. TikTok Greg says the question is, why aren't there other black billionaires and millionaires standing with him? I think a huge part of it is a lot of those people became millionaires and billionaires doing business with those people. And I'm gonna tell you, and that's really the truth. You can't really do any real major business, especially in entertainment, but period, without having a Jewish attorney, having somebody Jewish that's representing you. And yeah, I believe it. You know what I mean? That's what's up. I know Wiz as well. So Scrap, we can do both. But remember now, economics is what gave him the power to speak. True story. And that's what he shouldn't have messed up in the process of this, is because losing that financial strength makes it difficult for you to say what you want when you want to say it, wherever you want to say it. And so he has to build. The only way out of this for Kanye West right now, he has to build. He has to build something that we can then champion for him and with him. We don't hear of any Khazarian men putting down Harvey Winehouse. You mean Weinstein? True story. And if they are, they're doing it behind closed doors and with each other, not publicly. There is a lot of darkness in the entertainment industry in a whole, because there are horrible practices that are undermining there are horrible things just undermining it. They shouldn't have made statements about military moves that was war, and they put an embargo on him like he did, like we did Cuba. Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. The conversation that Kanye West was having should not be one that was openly, out in the public and whatnot. You make those moves behind closed doors. Middle money don't get the privilege unless big money with the floor gives us the mic. True story. And that's what I thought too, Red. I think he felt like he had the support. Yeah, I do. Absolutely. But crooked politicians have the intelligence to know, don't say nothing when the spotlight is on somebody else negatively. That way you live a longer time. You can go a longer time without it being exploiting you. Anybody who understands anything about how it works is you try to shut up and let everybody else get the heat. Then that should have reverberated throughout the community. It's cool for one of us to support, but we also have to use our influence to get others to do it as well. And if collectively the NBA, the basketball players supported him, then that would change the narrative, and these owners would say, hey man, yeah, we can't really say nothing about this or let this Kanye West in because so many of our players respect and hold him in high regard. I don't think the damage is done. I don't think the damage has made it so Kanye West is irrelevant. Good question. Reed said, with my, I'm still in the music industry. So he's like, if me being in the industry, is it affecting you? Yes and no. I'm not trying to be out in front, so they don't care about my conversation as much. The fact that I can move and maneuver behind the scenes and creatively, and again, you're subject to anybody's discontentment with you, regardless whether or what you do and what you say. So I've never moved worried about what other people thought. You know what I'm saying? I do care to some degree what you think, but on the other side of it, I know that I'm not so far out of bounds that you're like, I don't rock with that dude. You know what I mean? No, I never changed. And it is, yeah, it's about control. That's why the Baltimore Mayors won't speak on other. That's right. They don't do it. Knowing Kanye, what do you think his next move is and all this? Well, I mean, when you're going through this kind of stuff, the only thing you can do is what you probably should have done in the beginning. And this is unfortunately this is a gambler's mentality. A gambler will gamble and start going down the wrong path. And instead of saying, I'm no longer going to gamble, I'm gonna mitigate my losses, they say, I know a moment is coming where this will change and I'll be straight. And instead they get so far behind that they say, well, I'm gonna have to invest more in order to do this. And then when you've lost so much, you start saying, man, I should have stopped when I was only down 500. I should have stopped when I was only down this amount. And that's not what happens. Let me see. Question: if you had your own app that distributed your art, can they control you? No. But you would have to have 100% ownership, and this is why he tried to buy the Parlay app so he could speak and do what he wanted. But I don't know if that deal went through or not. The real problem are the people wanting to exploit the situation. Kanye and Kyrie will bounce back. True story. And that's the only part I think is also kind of it can be damaging for those in the community, is that at some point it's like coming to the defense of two a husband and wife or a relationship, and then when you jump in to say your part or to help out, that they make up afterwards, and then you look crazy on the outside. You know what I'm saying? It's equivalent to that. So you hope that whatever they're standing in the fold for, that they continue and don't fold, and that they're just as loyal to you for joining them as they are to themselves. Probably why we're taught to begin with. Yep. Why everyone won't just join a black-owned label? Because there aren't any actual black-owned labels. Black-owned labels try to get successful enough to join these white labels, because the white labels own more of the radio station. They own more of, it's funny, they create the bar and then make you reach for that bar, but the only way you can get to that bar is by your involvement with them. Bill Cosby wanted to buy a network. Yep, you're right, Everett. And you saw how they murdered him and they assassinated his character publicly for things that were years, you know what I'm saying? Having your own servers, yep, you need to have your own servers. You have to be completely independent. And then if you think that in that independence that you're not going to have challenges and that people are not going to come against you, that's where you're wrong. I can imagine a successful black label having its own servers and having its own infrastructure, that you have to have people smarter than the smartest people out there, because they will come. No, they don't own those labels, Savannah. They're figureheads. But his label is distributed, Swin, through another label. Just the key is to do what Sway said. Yo, just do your own thing, whether it's fashion, whether it's music or whatever. The challenge with it is this: how do you exploit your music to the masses? Oh, you gonna get on Instagram and do it? Well, y'all see people getting blocked on Instagram. Kanye West got blocked on Instagram. You see him try to do it on Twitter. Twitter people getting murked all the time. So even it's a harder route, and the way it needs to be done is the way it was done before these things existed. Do you remember that you actually bought a CD? Do you remember that you actually had to wait for it to come out and you didn't see it on TikTok and all that stuff? This is why I say sometimes we move too fast, and that things of the past still work today. They're just not as convenient. It's just not convenient. You need to do more than create your own app. So let me tell y'all, some of these people have their own labels, but they don't have the resources. Their labels are just a figurehead, and what they do is they try to build up their labels to be visible enough or lucrative enough, so that one of these major labels that is owned by these other people and negotiated by that community will come and buy it. Y'all seen so many people get bought out. The only way that makes sense is if you're going to take the resources that they bought you out with and go build something bigger and better. The capitalist game is rigged. You have to buy in the system or get shut down. You absolutely. So I tell you, Kanye West did it best in terms of getting in, swimming downstream, gaining influence, and then deciding to swim back upstream. Yeah, LaFace got bought out by Arista, Jira. When you go into an industry that you will become a public entity, nothing stays hidden. True story. When you do a label, you got to decide, you got to build, right? And one of the smartest things I've heard of people doing in the recent past is hiring some of these industry veterans that were getting fired from these major labels. But you build your label with these people, and you get the benefit of being at the label without being at the label. What up, Garen? What up, Miss Mickey? So that's a way around it. Yeah. Like if an artist wants to really be independent nowadays, he needs to go back to the roots of selling out of his trunk or making a website and directing people there. Ultimately, the game plan used to be that you would use the resources you would use one resource, meaning all you people who are working jobs and doing all that should be used to benefit your actual owning your own career, whatever that is going to be. So it should be an ends to a means. Instead, it's people's whole livelihood. And I just want $250 a year. I don't have to be a multi facts. When we become okay with not being rich in order to succeed, then boom. There's BMI and ASCAP and CSAC. There is no black writer company solely like those. So I have my own writing and publishing company as well, but they're only what they are because they're affiliated with those at this point. And at some point they won't be, but the Writers Association, they do all the collecting and they have the corner, they have the stronghold on the positioning to get all that stuff done. Back in the days, if you hustled, all your property was in mama's name till they got hip to that. Yeah. I'm going to be, or someone listening to my idea will be in that number, y'all. Remember I said it there. Indeed. Yeah, they pay you writing royalties through ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC, and then the record labels themselves pay you publishing from the sales of their artists' music. Nope, no music industry union. It's because it's based off of all individual contractors. We have to be the creator, lawyer rep, or have a strong knowledge in all. You don't have to do it all yourself, Everett. You just have to find those specialists in those areas. And like I was speaking to my people, I was like, the number one complaint that people have in the black community is the price of goods, the cost of goods. Everybody wants a discount, the hookup. And I tell you, when you're dealing with your black counterparts, you got to understand that they don't get the benefit of discount when they go into these retailers, when they go to these wholesalers. I mean, they don't get the benefit of a discount. They get no discount, actually. So you got to look at it from that perspective. It's $10.50. Let me drink my drink. $10.50. I'm drinking it. Straight to the head, y'all. What up, Spooky? Nah, I got a client that's working with him. Greg, one of my homeboys is working with drummer. His name is he's going under what name is he rapping under? Check Boy Tay. Ask drummer about Check Boy Tay. But I know drummer as well. I don't know him super well like that, but I know him through Jazzy Faye and some others. It's better to pay full price. I'd rather show support. You're absolutely right. Then ask for a handout. Some people got to stop. Exactly. Yep. Can't buy in bulk or big quantity. All that. Yep. So that's the issue. And I've been addressing it on the behalf of you entrepreneurs. I've been putting that out there so people understand. Listen, stop asking for a discount in the black community. It's impossible to do that. Yeah. I keep saying that to them so they understand it. Pricing is a form of racism. Absolutely. What up, Hella Tracks? It absolutely is. There you go. I like that. She said, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Spooky. Keep hitting the like button. If you guys, I put a share goal up there, a live goal of hot tamales, but ain't nobody rocking with the hot tamales. I should have put roses or something. My Cash App is available if anybody wants to do any gifting or whatever. But yeah, man, I look at it like, we don't get the benefit within the industries that we're in to be able to discount it. You know what I mean? And your mama really wouldn't want a discount. She gonna say, let me handle it for what it is. Nah, we can't take it. We got, in the black community, we got to understand that we're still in the building stage. So I can't give you no discount while I'm building. Y'all can watch it on, when y'all watch Shark Tank, what do those people say? I can't afford to give you a royalty on my expenses because I'm building. How am I gonna give you a discount and then I can't make a profit? What good is that? I'm just servicing the people at that point. We just talking about it, hella tracks, we getting into it. Like, I still have to be able to flourish. And in order to flourish, that allows me to bring these opportunities to other people. But that's the challenge, right? You shouldn't have, as a retailer, have to have multiple businesses in order to keep your retail business open. Your retail business should be able to thrive on its own based off of the prices that you set. Now, price gouging, Savannah, is off and not cool. But I have to respect the fact that I know that when you go to these wholesalers, that they're not treating you kindly when it comes to the price of goods. If I can respect that you're not going to get a discount, then I'll respect saying, because I'm supporting you, I will pay what you price it as, and I will try to get more people to shop with you so that at some point you can bring those rates down. I mean, that's just hard to believe. They don't need it as bad. So that just lets you know that, Everett, you help who you can help. Some people be acting too good, or like they, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy as I don't know what. I used to produce off love principle. If you get big, I get big. Just get the contract right. Yep, Greg, that's a thing in the past. Your time has value even in the creation stage of it. So I charge people. My dad used to say, I didn't ask how much, and it has stuck with me. Yep. Excuse me. If the goal is ownership, take the bullet in the form of bringing down rates. You can't bring down rates to the point where you can't survive. You know what I'm saying? That's disingenuous. You can't do that. I don't do as much as I can. I'll tell y'all right now, me going live is probably the freest thing I've ever done. When I say free, I mean cost-wise. It's the freest thing I've ever done because I really understood that my time has value. And I usually, some of y'all know that my time has value. When in Greg's situation, when I was working with artists, you know what I did? You know what I still do to this day, Greg? When I'm working with talent, when I'm done with the session, I give them an invoice of how much that session costs, so they understand this is how much money I'm not making, and I put paid at the bottom of it. Because and I've been heard this, and I'll tell y'all to do this as well. Whenever y'all do something for somebody that costs you money, give them an invoice so they can understand that you just gave them the hookup that they was asking for. Yes, but Savannah, at that point, now you're working 2 jobs to take care of one. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I don't know exactly. It's a business. Got to get something to produce something. Yeah, time is what we can. That's right. You don't have to be a millionaire or a billionaire in order to make it work. I understand that, but I just think there's there's a way. The famous quote, "It's business, not personal," can have a racist undertone with American being. Yep, you're absolutely right. Because they use that when they say, personally, I don't have anything against you, but and I agree with you, Savannah. Passive income, every family needs to have some sort of way of making money when they're in their sleep. It's easier than you think. The hardest part is probably setting it up, but once it's set up, it's doing its thing. Yeah, Spooky, when your friends want that free photo shoot, you show them how much it costs, and you give them an invoice, say, man, I hope you love your pictures. It cost me $250 to do it. It cost me $300 to do this for you. Yeah, street people play because the value of money is different for people who make it fast, Greg. Like anybody who out here in the streets, they can't spend their money. They can't put their money in the bank. They can't put their money, they hate putting it in a shoebox. They want to spend it on, they want to spend it as much as and as quickly as possible because they can't do those things with it that other people who are making honest money do with it. I pay whatever is being charged from black owned businesses, then they sell out. Yeah. Now, when you say sell out, you got to explain that because that could mean that has a lot of different connotations to it. But yeah, when standing in the fold. Now, listen, but are they going to get airtime? I don't know what that means, Greg. As far as getting out there, who knows? We're going to talk scrap. The strategy I have will work, but you got to confront greed and stinginess. Those two things are the extremes of both. So yeah, that's a fine dance. That's a fine dance to have out here is the balance between greed and that balance between being ridiculously frugal, I think that, I think in some cases, that there are abilities for people to mitigate their damages, but they sell out to big businesses. Yeah. I mean, yes, it's kind of crazy, Greg, because dynamic in some issues that's good and sometimes that's bad. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Savannah. They need PR and manager to push the art to radio stations. True story. But that's why I charge independents a little bit more than I charge the majors, because the majors have more of a chance of extending my give via publishing and writing. When I'm working with independents, I have to I can't be flexible because you may be wasting my time and my talent. So I have to charge you a flat rate, and hopefully in charging you this rate, it'll be you saying, I don't want to waste my money. Let me go out and do the job I need to do. Yeah. I mean, I'm in a position to do that, Savannah, and I'm the only one who, like, for me, I would rather you allow me to discount my rate if I'm gonna do it at all versus just handling your business the way it should be. I am a person who says, if you can't afford to shop at that business, then you can't afford to shop at that business. If you got to ask for a discount, you're probably in the wrong place. Now, I'll ask for a discount in places I can afford because whether they say yes or no, I'm buying it anyway. But I will say, if you can come off of anything, yeah. Thank you so much for that, Savannah. I'm willing to do that, and I can negotiate it because I believe the investment is in people. I believe that investment in people will yield results. And again, I'm in the legacy building portion of life. Like, I want to be a part of people's legacies, and the only way that I can do that is by not standing as a building block in the way of that. And I've been in that position where finances was the challenge for making me my breakthrough. See, you doing it right. Yeah, I like the way you think. Thanks, Schwinn. I think that's why a lot of people are here. What up, Lens? Is that because of the way I look at things, I think is different than a lot of people, and I think it's in alignment with a lot of people as well. But for those who hang out and kick it, I think it's because we align in our perspectives, and I enjoy sharing it with people who don't know me so that they can have another outlook, have another way of looking at things. Yeah. And I agree. There is no harm in asking at all. You're absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? If you don't ask, you can't receive, and that's with everything in life. So if you never say nothing, no is always the answer. Or Sven says, well, black people have to accept that if we want power, we can't approach economics oppressively. No, we can't. And so a book suggestion for you all, if you haven't got it, in your book collection should be Dr. Claude Anderson's Powernomics. Powernomics. Dr. Claude Anderson's Powernomics. All right. Claude, Claude, Anderson, Anderson. Powernomics, Powernomics. Y'all need that book. That's dope. I kind of figured you would, enough. Y'all have to, if you want to get acclimated to him without reading the book right away, go to the Breakfast Club's interview with Dr. Claude Anderson. Absolutely. Listen, for those of you who don't know how to, what job or something that you want, create one. Create a position. I know a guy in Atlanta named Kenny. I can't think of Kenny's last name right now. And it's just slipping me because he's a close friend. But Kenny created the job, and he titled himself the Lifetime Specialist. And now he is a voice on the radio. He never started off in radio. True story, Savannah. Create the job that you want, the passive income you want. There's several. If you have a skill set, information, give it to people, talk about it, share it with people, get them on board. And at some point they're gonna say, we need your service. But let me not acquiesce too far away from the subject, because I really want to build more advocates in this situation that we're dealing with how we're being handled. No, absolutely, Schwinn. Consistency and sacrifice is gonna get you everywhere you want to go. No, it's all good, Savannah. I want to make sure that the advocacy for change that we stay focused on. Now, that's a part of the financial change as well, Savannah, is building our own and having passive income and those things. They allow you to be in a position to support the Kyries and the Kanye's properly, because you don't have to worry about outside influence saying you can't say this or you can't do that. And that's a reason why a lot of us are held back in really going 1,000%, is because we owe a certain level of conversation and positioning to these jobs that we hold, to these people who are responsible for our livelihood to some degree. If you take that out of the equation, I think a majority of people would be straight activists. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people will really be going 100% in the paint because their livelihood isn't predicated on someone else making sure that they're good. So we got to keep that in mind. Listen, so for anybody on Instagram and on TikTok, the replays for this conversation will be on the YouTube channel. You should be already subscribed to the YouTube channel. If not, it's youtube.com/IC or /Dwight_Scrap_Reynolds. So on all my platforms that I've been able to kind of get all of them to align and be straight for the branding purposes, but Dwight_Scrap_Reynolds, you can connect to it throughout. There you go. It's on the bottom. It's pinned on I put the wrong one on my YouTube. Ain't that crazy? Yeah, just go over there and whatnot. Just listen to you, it made me want to start another business. That's what's up, working with the elderly. And you can do it, Red. Get that thing up and going. And once you get that business going, then you put somebody in position to run that business, because if you have a mindset for creating business and creating income, then you got several ideas waiting to happen. You just can't put yourself in a position where you're the driving force of all of them. Once you get these things up and running, do what other companies do. They hire someone else to run it, and you use your mind and resources to build another one or do something different that's going to create the results that you want. We've been on since 9 o'clock. I was on time today. And I don't know how many of y'all was or wasn't on time or whatnot, but if you got here and you heard some of the conversation, then you were right on time. She said, yep, that's how we create it, Schwinn. Savannah says, Scrap, you on to something. I'm telling you, but it's going to require a unique stance from someone. All right, we'll talk about it. Yo, everybody who joined me on YouTube, man, I appreciate y'all. I love the look on YouTube. Y'all can't see it. If I can get y'all all to go over to YouTube, like I want to see everybody on this live go over to YouTube right now before we get off, and I'll exit from here on YouTube. But I want to see 30 people on my YouTube right now. If y'all can join youtube.com/Dwight_Scrap_Reynolds. I just want y'all to see how it looks. You know what I'm saying? I just want y'all to see what it looks like so y'all can really get a grasp of why I'm so excited. The ideal way that I want my podcast to kind of look is looking like it over there. I got a few tweaks and twerks, and maybe y'all got some suggestions when you see it. What up, Miss Kitchen? But there's something I want to do that's special over there at youtube.com/Dwight_Scrap_Reynolds. If I can get y'all to go over there just for a brief second, y'all ain't got to go there long because I'm wrapping up anyway, but I want to see y'all over there. Make sure y'all say y'all name. I see Savannah just joined. Say y'all name when y'all join the live. Like let me know y'all in my live with me on YouTube. And make sure you subscribe while you're there and hit the thumbs up, the like button. But I want to see y'all over there real quick. Even if you just pop in, y'all can stay on TikTok if you can and do that too. That'd be super dope. But I just want to see y'all on YouTube for a brief second. My YouTube, I'll type it in right here. My YouTube is this. It's my name, actually. It's going to be youtube.com/Dwight_Scrap_REY. Boom. That's it right there. I see Red Baby over there. Okay. Yeah, man, you got to do that, Reed. You got to do the thing. I told you that one mic is only $100. This microphone right here, you can get for $100. It's not as good as this microphone, but it is pretty decent. I think the only thing this is missing is a shield over the top of it, and that'll warm the vocal up so you can hear things a lot better. So this is a good microphone for the money, and you'll see a lot of podcasters using that. All right, Shafan, I see you subscribe. YouTube announced it. I see you. Yeah, make sure y'all get over to YouTube really quickly, man. I want y'all to see it, and y'all have. Let me know if y'all think that the way my YouTube is set up is a great start for a great podcast. Like, I love it. It says live in the background. It says on air. It's got my Green Eye Bandit thing. It's got I am the show. It tells you I'm made in Flint. I gotta straighten that up so you can read it a lot better. It's a whole vibe for me. I'm really excited about it. It's got the lips and the eyes. I'm excited about it. I guess that's why I want y'all to go look at it. I'm excited about it. But this is where I ultimately want to start having the conversation, is on the YouTube channel. And there are some other things that I can do, which I'm excited about. If I wanted to, okay, cool. If I wanted to introduce y'all to a video, I'm able to show the video live in the broadcast on there. I can't show you a video live on the broadcast on TikTok. Like, the YouTube is going to allow me so much flexibility to show you guys so many different things. And if I wanted to play some music, of course y'all can hear the music on there right now. But if I wanted to do something different and showcase a video, let me see if I can show y'all what I'm talking about. If I wanted to bring a video on, let me unlock that. I could bring a video into the conversation. This is just going to be a quick one of me driving in Miami, so y'all can see it. Ain't no telling what I do is scared of myself. If I share, I'm scared of myself. That's why I gotta keep me next to you. Scared of myself, cause I'm too scared of myself. I ain't gonna say a minute. I've been knowing the pain, the city. It is a different backdrop. If I put a different backdrop up there, y'all can see. And this should be blank. Camera. Source. That's it. Blank. Yeah, in the background, I would be able to show y'all, a video. If I was like, hey, I need y'all to see this, then I could actually have it move to a video. Let me see. What up, Stacy? I see you. Let me see if I can find this this imaging so I can show y'all that. Right now it has all those in place. And there's a way. That's my book. Let me see. That's the apple cider vinegar drink. See, all these different things I'm showing y'all over here on YouTube, I'm unable to do on Instagram and TikTok. And I want y'all to be a part of that because I know for the experience I want y'all to have while we go live, it'll be something totally different. What up, Greg? TikTok Greg, I see you. Taushi. Yeah. Again, so for everybody on my on TikTok right now, what y'all are witnessing is everybody's coming over to the YouTube channel. Just for a moment so everybody can see it. Just type in my name, enough, Dwight _scrap_ Reynolds after you type in the when you go www.youtube.com/ and then you put that. Or I don't know if I See Green 1 will still let you get to it, but come on over come on in. The water's fine. But y'all see, it's a whole nother vibe, right? Can y'all appreciate the vibe, the colors, you know what I'm saying? And at night, let me see. Alexa, turn basement off. I should be able to really make it warmer and feel different once these other lights come down. Yeah, y'all see how I got just kind of warmed up a little bit? Those are some of the things that I want to do. And then I can also, it'll be easier to kind of show some different things. Like, honestly, this was supposed to be, I was supposed to be able to, like, I can do this. Let me shrink this. I can shrink this down, and I can shrink this as well. And then I can show y'all, like, if I wanted to show y'all a video or something. What up, Diana? If I wanted to show y'all a video, I could do this. Let's go with the driving. See, now y'all can see, I could be like, so this is my experience. People just talk about me for driving a little bit above the speed limit. Here I am in a BMW, and I'm doing, I don't even talk about that stuff, but y'all can see based off of how I'm moving, I am one of the ultimate drivers, and I got mad skills when it comes behind the wheel. Look at, y'all gotta imagine, we're on the highway, so those cars are moving pretty fast. Y'all see the way I'm dipping in and out. I'll be excited about this. Y'all are listening. Yeah, look at this. Oh, where you gonna go? I could have went over 2 lanes to the left, but instead I go here. Watch this. Watch me pop left. Watch me pop right. Woo! Look at that. Watch me pop. Whoa! Y'all see it. Y'all saw the increase too. Yeah, I saw that. What's the just say? You put the work in the book. You should promote your book. Without wanting to dwell on it, but help you along the way. Thank you for that. So let me jump out of that so I can show y'all right now. So this is the ultimate look again. No, I can't. That's the issue. So the reason why YouTube looks so much better than the TikTok is because, okay, cool. Is because of the camera I'm using and the lens that I'm using is such a, we're talking about $1,000 iPhone versus a $4,000 camera with a $1,100 lens on it. So it's going to articulate and be really, really different always. What up, Tashana? I see you, Tashi. Yeah, YouTube is all clean, right? And is, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really, really articulate. But I can't get this view on, this view is not allowed on the other one. So if I wanted to do this, then I could bring, so Letitia was saying Letitia was one of the people who purchased my book. Let me go back to it. She purchased my book, Social Digital Currency. And she was saying I should promote it more often. I don't promote my book quite often on here. And I can't even tell you why. I can't tell you why I don't talk about it more, because it's really another one of those tools that is beneficial for you guys. So maybe tomorrow, which is election day, we'll spend some time talking about social digital currency and how it's going to affect you in the future, as well as everything else. What do you mean, Savannah? Not yet. Don't talk about it yet. Oh, can you show the YouTube screen on TikTok? I mean, like if I took the camera and pointed it at it, yes. But there's no way to get the YouTube to stream into TikTok. And that was something they're working on. So in order to do that in the future, they can do it for, yeah, Rashonda, I know, right? Miss Kitchen, everybody likes YouTube better than TikTok. It's a different experience. You know what I'm saying? It's a totally different experience. But for TikTok is building infrastructure so that they can Yeah, I am always, Savannah. I mean, it's a part of my life. She said I'm using the strategies that are in my book. Yeah, it's just what it is. It's way it's beneficial for any and everybody to be a part of it. To use social digital currency is going to change our lives. That's all I can tell you. Once you understand how to use it, it's going to be highly effective on your journey on social media, but also just in your social perspective. We need to do a book club month with your book. That would be super dope. Let's talk about it. But that's where we're at. Let me show y'all something what I should have did here too. So here I could mirror that so that the word live, so at least the word live looks the right way. So I can make these adjustments while we're on. Let me see. Mirror, did I mirror that? Not that camera. Let me go to the right camera. This camera. And then I can unmirror it so it says live. See? There we go. Now everything in the background looks correct. I got to remember to do that on each one of these. On each one of these platforms that it has to look right. So this is where I make and create music and all this musical equipment, microphones and all that. Y'all will be excited about some things that are coming up in the future, but I will spend some time tomorrow educating y'all on social digital currency. And there's no obligation to buy my book or none of that kind of stuff, but I am going to have a conversation with y'all, and I should at least once a week hold some conversation in regards to the book so y'all can kind of understand. It's something that I invested into that I think will be beneficial for everybody. I did this long before I ever joined TikTok when it came to creating the book. So you guys can understand that I typically do things period. I just do it because I feel like I want to give back. You know? Yeah, we could do it by chapter so you guys understand how to use it on each of these different platforms. Because every platform isn't for everybody. I enjoy TikTok more than I enjoy Instagram and YouTube, but I understand that YouTube is a necessary conduit to TikTok and Instagram. So for those of you who are only on one platform, but you have ambitions to grow and do different things, you will spend more time on one than the other, but they all play and dance well together. Each one for a different reason, each one for a different purpose, you know? And I'm glad you like YouTube, Rashawn. I like that. I think it's y'all see me looking to the left because normally I have a screen in front of me so I can continue looking forward and watching and reading the comments, but I don't have that over there right there. So you'll see me kind of veer to the left. What up, DJ Spindle? Spin Diesel. So we'll reconvene again tomorrow. Today was cool because I got here on time. I actually was up early enough to do some different things because the studio was kind of like, I got to get the studio together a little bit every time to set up for the show because I got lighting, I got, audio to put together. And then today, one of the incentives for me getting started early is that they're coming to clean my house. So I was like, let me get up, let me get busy or whatnot. But lastly, but not leastly, like I always like to do, I like to give a shout out to all those people who spent the likes. How many likes did we get up to today? We didn't break 10,000, but it's all good. Our shares didn't break 10. That's not good at all. I'm going to be more diligent about us doing the work, y'all, especially the free stuff. Y'all got to realize I get on and I don't ask you guys for anything, right? I only present the opportunity for you to do what you feel like you want to do in your heart. I just present the opportunity. The only things that I may nudge you on are the likes and the shares. That's it. I only nudge y'all on the likes and the shares. Every now and again, I do a live gifting thing and I'll promote my book every blue moon, or I'll say, hey, if you want to go above and beyond, there's Cash App and those opportunities to sow into the time that I spend here. But I got to be more diligent about saying, hey, I appreciate y'all and everything that y'all do. Please just in the reciprocation of appreciation, show me some appreciation for the time, because the time is something I can't, none of us can get it back. And if I was receiving information and consuming, then that would be a whole nother thing as well, which I am. You guys are always giving great opportunities to learn and grow. But on the flip side of that, there are those metrics that I always want to see that live go, the likes. I always want to see that like thing go banoodles. Like, that's easy. And yeah, I know too. I know, Savannah. And that's why I said I got to take responsibility for not emphasizing. And I don't want to come off like, I guess y'all don't understand. Like, I've been on lives and people come off pushy and they be like, yo, do this, let's go crazy, let's go crazy. And I understand that's what, that conversation does help motivate people to say, you know what, I am on this live, I am having a great time, let me send some roses, let me buy one of these crazy gifts or whatever, or let me cash app them and all those kind of things. And let me tell y'all, on those times where people have done that, have cash apped and went above and beyond, I be like, that's dope. And I don't forget, you know what I'm saying? I know Miss Cheryl, is one of those people who, whenever I've seen her, she's always done something, and I've been like, yo, I appreciate you. You don't forget people. So your social digital currency being spent leads to your actual digital currency being spent sometime, and then that increases your social currency amongst people. So when I talked about the diamond, that's in the book as well. These are the 3 checkpoints that we have in life, right? One is, what are you doing for others that costs you nothing to do but means the world to the people that you're doing it for? Saying hello to people is social digital currency. I mean, when you say it on here, when you speak and when you're nice and you're genuine, you're liking, you're following, you're sharing, those are social digital currency spends that cost you nothing to do. So you should do it effectively, but with the people that you care and concern about. That's the easy metric. Then there becomes a point where you say, man, I get off this live and I feel energetic. I be on this live and I doing these different things. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Personal, I'd rather give cash app so you see the full benefit. I appreciate that. But liking and sharing, I will always do. And that's it. That's the small requirement. If for 2 hours out of the day, right? If for 2 hours, I appreciate that, Jir said, I'm about to buy your book. Thank you so much. For 2 hours out of the day, I would ask y'all as a community, I would say, for 2 hours out of the day, what do you think, how would you look at that value? Would you say collectively, 2 hours out of the day, I want to make sure that Scrap can buy a shake. So 2 hours a day, that's 50 cents a person. For a $5, or actually the smoothie costs about $7. So that's like 50 cents a person. And then you say that's the value that I show Scrap. So I don't think about it like that completely. I really don't. I just think about it, I say, as long as y'all like, as long as y'all share, as long as we are teaching and people are gaining knowledge, that's the investment I'm willing to make into the time that I spent. And I do that freely. And because I have another, like an actual career, kind of to Savannah's point, that when you have another career, when you have other ways of income, it's not about that. And I always tell you guys, whatever y'all do is appreciated. It's not necessary, but it's appreciated. Thank you, VIP. We hit that metric, which is super dope. The sharing metric, we at 10. So I'm cool. Like, those are the things that really make me excited, because it's the simplest thing you can do to show appreciation. Likes and shares, man, we should be through the roof on that joint. And the cool thing is you are a billionaire. Listen to me, y'all. You are a billionaire in likes and shares. Tashi said we want to help you build the platform, and the free item should always do. Exactly, right? That's called social digital currency. It's free. Whenever y'all join a platform, y'all are billionaires in it. Now, it may not mean much to y'all, but it actually means more to the person who's hosting, because those metrics matter to everyone else. If I wanted to take the show to a network or something, I say, listen, man, every time I get on my live, I get over 100,000 likes and I get over 2,000 shares every and that's for being on for 2 hours. If in 2 hours, and it's happened before, and that's the only reason why I'm saying it. Before, I've had over 1,000 shares. Would you believe it? There have been 1,000 shares and over 100,000 likes. Those are metrics that matter to other people. If somebody wanted to sponsor the show, and then every, 15 minutes, I say, hey, you guys should use Dove's, dish soap for your hands and blah, 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 then they're more willing to invest in that, because they know that in that time that there are 1,000 likes, 2,000, 100,000 likes, 1,000 shares, and maybe 500 people visit the room. Well, that's an engagement that they can invest in. And that's the other part. Engagement. I think I have one of the best engagement groups on the platform, the conversation, the you guys asking questions, making statements. I think please don't ever run from engaging in this live, because it helps not only me, but it helps everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm roughly estimating, Shwin. But those things benefit whenever you join somebody's live. Whenever I join somebody's live, I start hitting the like button right away. Why? Because it don't cost me nothing, and I'm gonna be there for a second listening to whatever they're talking about. Now, sharing the live, I will wait to share, because I want to make sure that what I'm sharing is representative of who I am. Like, I don't want to share rooms with y'all. Like, there's a room I do at night where they roast people and stuff, and I don't know if a few of you have seen me in this room, and I don't share that room often in a major way. Because of, it's a real different, younger group, and they be on some wild stuff. And then like I said to you guys before, I've dabbled in comedy, and I have fun cutting the fool with them, you know what I'm saying, and letting them know that, you know what I'm saying, that it's a good time. So I don't share that. But when I'm in rooms that I do think are crazy and beneficial, I do that. You know what I mean? Schwinn said he's the master. 10 o'clock, they're on at 10 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying? If you follow me, you'll see me go live. You'll see the room I'm in, and you can join. But not everybody gets to get on stage. They invite me on the stage more often now. At first, they didn't invite me on, and then I was clowning them from the audience, from the comments. Then they was like, yo, yes, Agent. So Agent asked a very good question. He said, will you ever allow your followers to join the video call as well? I think the only platform that I really want to have video conferencing on, that I think will be dynamic and special, is on YouTube. Yep, Master Schwinn, it's on YouTube. That show isn't on YouTube, though. It's on TikTok. But I have a capability, Agent, where I can send you a number where you can join via FaceTime on your phone or your computer, however you want to join. But I have a service on my eCam that allows me to just call interview, and it allow up to 10 people to join that live at once, and it's completely manageable, which is why I would do that one versus doing it on any other platform. So maybe I'll schedule a day where it is just that. It is a conversation on YouTube with 6 to 10 of the guests that I communicate with on a regular basis. There are a few people, my champions absolutely get carte blanche when it comes to going live. So maybe we'll do that. We'll have an open forum discussion on YouTube, which I think the reason why I would use YouTube is because that conversation can reverberate for a long time. Like, people can really go back and check it out and listen and vibe with it. What up, Donnie boy? And Donnie is one of those, I think, Donnie is from the roast room as well. There are a few people I've seen come in from the roast room that we do, which is cool, because this is a different side of me that they get to see versus the side of us when we clowning at night. Like, when we clown at night, it's no holds barred. I get into the mindset of cracking on people or whatnot, and then in the mornings, it's all business. You know what I'm saying? I just want to take care of the community, make sure that we're communicating about things that matter to us, help us focus. What up, Tracus? Just make sure that we're going in the right direction. Tracus, I need you to are you in Atlanta, Tracus, or when you coming to Atlanta? But in the mornings, you know what I'm saying, I think that health, wellness, and our social construct means a lot to me, and I want to have that conversation with you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate it, Donnie. And it's funny because I don't transition or invite anybody from the roasting show over here, because I just don't think they'll get it, but I think it'd be totally beneficial for most of the cast and crew that is there and audience to come through and just kind of really understand that there's more to being on this platform that you're able to do, that also people can get a well-rounded peripheral point of view of who you are and what you stand for. So yeah, I wasn't on there last night. I popped in for a minute, but I didn't join the stage. Letitia said she joined last night, but didn't she logged out when she didn't see me. Yeah. This is definitely the perfect balance I need in life. No joke. That's what's up. I think so too, right? I think that I think it's cool for us to kick it and act a fool at night if we've handled our business during the day. If we made a difference in somebody's life. He said it went in on Andrew. I can imagine, right? if we can, and that's the balance of life. We need to handle our business, but we need to have fun doing it too. So I enjoy being on this platform to communicate, motivate, inspire, and invest in people. And then I love investing in the gift of laughter at night with the community that's there, because laughter heals. So I feel like I'm doing, I feel like I'm managing that part of my giving experience correctly. I'm giving the gift of laughter, but also the gift of a new perspective, even in comedy. So I appreciate everybody for showing up and showing out. Yeah, laugh hard, work hard. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to everybody, man, all my champions who are in the building, who subscribed and always show up, man. This show is nothing without you. For all my new guests, all the new people who have joined, man, this show is better and becomes bigger because of you. So continue to show up and show out with me. For anybody who's showing up on YouTube, let me see, we got a few people still on YouTube. Yeah. YouTube is a way of using social digital currency and spending actual currency, because they calculate the amount of people and the amount of time you spend on that platform while I'm live. And ultimately, if I had 100 people on my YouTube live right now and you stayed on the live with me for the duration of the show, which is typically around 2 hours, actually we're on 2.5 hours right now, but if you typically 2 hours, then that would translate monetarily on YouTube as well. And all you had to do was show up. So some of those things are super, super dope. I would still ask y'all to like and share the live, but nonetheless, it's a dope platform to be a part of. And that's why I kind of transition us to YouTube if I can. So if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please do so. But do more than that. Watch some of the videos, like the videos, comment on the videos, and show up when I go live. With that being said, it's 11:32, Monday, the 7th of November here in Atlanta, Georgia. 74 degrees with a high of 80 degrees. What? November, we doing 80 degrees? Come on, man. I want to say I'm definitely going to spread the word about your page, Funny and Deep, Dave Chappelle vibe. That's the ultimate goal, man. I love the way he truth and humor. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all, man. If you got here late, get here early next time. I usually get on. I'm trying to be consistent with 9 a.m. Y'all just got to help me. Sometimes I might come in this mug looking all crazy. So yeah, user. So for you, it'll be 7 a.m. Out there. So you'll be ready to drink the apple cider vinegar with us. So from 50s in the shit shy. Woo, Tasha. It ain't so bad, but yeah, y'all still in jacket weather, because I know what coat weather is like for y'all in the shy. With that being said, yo, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let's continue to be great. Hopefully this was a great start to your Monday. We got a cool, crazy little week in front of us. Tomorrow's going to be bananas, because people and their voting and all that kind of stuff is going to change the perspective. I got to get to college, but I'm locked in now, my guy. Much love from Dallas, Texas. My guy, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all, man. I love hearing all that information. So it's never goodbye. It's to be continued. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Or I might see y'all tonight. Turn on notifications and go from there. All right, y'all, I'm out.